analysis, TGA analysis, what characterization you are studying about the sample, we are going to see. Now, what is thermal analysis? See, thermal analysis, it is a one branch of material science they are saying. That is, see, wait, somebody is entering one by one and disturbing the class. Anyway, now thermal analysis, it is a one branch of material science where the properties of any material, that is its a characterization, that is the properties of a material is studied as they change with the temperature. See, certain materials, their properties will change with the temperature. So at low temperature, for example, you know, at 0 Kelvin, some certain materials will behave as a superconductor up to its critical temperature, that is at very low temperature, and above that its critical temperature it will behave as a normal material, normal conductor. So materials behavior will change upon the materials behavior will change upon temperature. Superconductor is the best example for it. Then apart from that, you have seen the shape memory alloy, one of the engineering material, a smart material. See, at low temperature it will be that is at low temperature it will behave as it is having a martensite crystal structure, so it will be easily deformed. Its physical property is such that it is a soft structure. You can easily change its shape and size when it is a low temperature, because at low temperature it is in martensite structure. But same material, when it is in at high temperature, it will behave as it will go to another crystal structure called austenite structure. Once it goes to the austenite structure, what happens? It is you cannot deform it. You cannot change its shape and size by applying load or anything. But upon heating, then it goes to the high temperature. When its temperature change, crystal structure changes from martensite to austenite, it will remember what is its original shape and come back to its original shape and size before deformation. So these are all some properties of a material which changes with different temperature. Certain materials at low temperature, at high temperature, it is a conductor. When it is cooled below critical temperature or below critical temperature, it behaves as a superconducting property. So certain materials will change its crystal structure itself based on its crystal structure present. Its property is changing. This is based on its temperature. That is shape memory alloy. So thermal analysis is done to study the characteristic property of such materials. Thermal analysis is a branch of material science where the properties of material are studied as they change with the temperature. When the temperature changes, its property is changing. Based on that, the thermal net varadu. So the thermal analysis is a branch of material science where the properties of material are studied as they change with the temperature. Now, when for example, see how the property change. When a matter is heated, when it is in a solid form, when you know matters are, there are three forms of three states of matter, that is solid, liquid, and gas. Now, when it is in three states of matter, there is a three forms of matter. See, when solid, when it is heated, it will become liquid, and after that it will become gas. So the property with the physical and chemical, there is some change. So when a matter is heated, it undergoes certain physical and chemical changes that you can understand. When you heat a solid, it will change into liquid and then into a gas. So there is a change in its physical and chemical property. So the physical change, what are the physical change? When a matter is heated, matter either it is in a solid form, liquid, or gaseous form, when it is heated, it is undergoing certain physical and chemical changes, we are saying. Now, what are the physical changes happens? Means the physical changes include the phase change, that is solid will change into liquid, liquid into gas, gases into very high temperature plasma. These are all some physical changes happen when the matter when for a matter when it is subjected to change in temperature and melting point, vaporization, crystallization. See, safe memory alloy is a best example for change in the crystal structure, and how it when it crystallizes, that crystallization behavior itself will change with the change in the temperature of a material. Transition between the crystal structure, which is a best example, is shape memory alloy. At low temperature, it is in martensite structure. When it is goes to high temperature, it will be in austenite structure. So the crystal structure will change when there is a change in temperature to a matter. Then there is a change in the microstructure in metal alloys and polymers. Volume changes. Either due to change in temperature, the material will expand or contract. So there is a volume change, and there is also change in its mechanical behavior when it is when a material is heated. This is the change in the physical property of a material when there is a change in temperature. What is the chemical change happens to a material when the temperature changes? Means that includes only certain materials, they are inactive at low temperature. When you heat it only, its chemical reaction may be induced. So chemical changes include reactions to form new products, oxidation, corrosion, decomposition, dehydration. All these things come under the all these things come under chemical changes. Include reactions to form new products, oxidation, corrosion, decomposition, dehydration, chemical absorption, and like this. These are all some chemical changes happens in a material when it is subjected to change in temperature. So these physical and chemical changes take place over a wide temperature range. When you are subjecting a material to heat over a wide temperature range, these chemical and physical changes, there is a change in its physical and chemical property for a material. Based on that only, the thermal analysis of a material is done. That is, you are taking a material, you are not taking, you are synthesizing a new material. Suppose you are a material science engineer and you are preparing a new material, and a new engineering material is in your hands, and you want to know what is the property of the new material you synthesized or you fabricated. Immediately you want to study the property of the material with all the characterization tool. Now by changing the temperature of the new material, by subjecting that new material you find to a varying temperature, then you are identifying its property. That is the thermal analysis method. That is, it is based on the principle that when a material is subjected to varying temperature, its physical and chemical property is changed. Based on that, you are investigating a material, its characteristic property. That is the thermal analysis. So materials are used over a wide range of temperature, from Arctic cold to tropical heat. Am I correct? See, from Arctic cold, that is from a very cold temperature, to tropical heat, to a desert temperature, the materials we are fabricating, we are using is handled. So in corrosive environment it is used, and it is in a material can be handled in humidity and under a load, stress. So these are all various circumstances the materials are used in day-to-day life for an engineering application. We have to use the material in Arctic cold temperature, under a tropical heat, in a corrosive environment, or in a humidity layer, or under applying a load and a stressed condition. You have to handle a material. So it is necessary to characterize to study the property of a material and their behavior over a range of temperatures to determine what materials are suitable for specific use, and to determine what temperature range materials or chemicals can withstand without changing. So what is the necessity for thermal analysis of a material is, you are handling a material as an engineer in a device or in a tool in various environment, in a desert environment, cold environment, in a corrosive environment where it will get corroded, that is in a watery environment where the weapons or the tools or device used will maybe get corroded, or in a humidity or under a stress, various environment you are handling a material. So you have to, it is a very necessary for you to identify the property of a material and its behavior over various temperature and various environment, so that only the material you can identify, so that this material can be used in this particular environment, so that its physical and chemical property is suitable to work as this device. Like for that it is necessary. So the sort of information is used to predict safe operating conditions for products. See, suppose a material you are handling in a nuclear environment. Suppose that material is so more reactive, means if it disintegrate, a harmful radiation, means it is not a suitable material to handle it in a nuclear reactor station if it is sensitive to radiation. See, for example, when you see the metallic glass, a new engineering materials which is formed by alloys of metal or metal metalloid alloys, iron phosphorus carbon, nickel niobium, zirconium rhenium, these combination metallic glass, this is a new engineering material which is having a amorphous nature structure. The atoms are arranged in a random manner, but it is made up of only metals, metal or metal metalloid, but it is not the, it is a new smart material, this metallic glass, which have a corrosion resistive. So you can use that. Even it is made up of metal metalloid combination. Metal separately it has a corrosion, it is subjected to corrosion, but metallic glass, a new form of material, it is a corrosive resistant. So you can no need to use it. You can't use a metal in a corrosive environment, but metallic glass which is corrosive resistance, now you can use it in a undersea water cable, like that, where the cables will be corrosive resistance, and you can it is a very efficient material to use an underwater cable. But the copper cable, just it is made up of metal, it is subjected to corrosion, so you cannot use. But metallic glass, which is a smart material, new engineering material, it is a corrosive resistant, so you can use. So this you can identify, this property this metallic glass is having, that you can analyze by what analyzing that. You can identify by analyzing the material with a suitable characterization tool only. So it is necessary to study the characterization of a material. So the sort of information used to predict safe operating conditions for products, such as which type of tire material is best for vehicles in extremely cold or extremely hot climate. So the average expected lifetime of materials such as paints and polymers exposed to temperature change, all these things you can identify with a thermal analysis. Now, types of thermal analysis. There are different type of thermal analysis method. One is thermogravimetric analysis, and another is differential thermal analysis method, and differential scanning calorimetry method, and thermometric titration, DMA, dynamic mechanical analysis, thermomechanical analysis. So there are different type of thermal analysis, but in your syllabus we are going to concentrate on that first method, thermogravimetric analysis method. Now, what is thermogravimetry? It is a method of thermal analysis, that is you are analyzing the thermal property of a material, in which the physical property of a substance is measured as a function of temperature, whilst the substance is subjected to a controlled temperature programmer. Actually, what is the meaning means, in the thermogravimetric material, how you are analyzing the material means, you will take a substance and you want to know the nature of the substance, the property of a physical property of a substance. So what you are doing, if you want to study the characterization, the property of the substance, now we are changing the you are noting the change in the mass of the material for the change in the temperature of the material. When the temperature change, how much is the change in the mass of the substance, that you are noting. That is, you are taking a substance and heating it, and its temperature is changing. The temperature change is controlled by a programmer. So the rate of change in the temperature, the rate at which you are supplying the heat to the substance, so that the rate of change in the temperature is in a controlled manner. This much degree centigrade, 200 degree centigrade per minute, like that. You are changing the temperature of the substance, and due to change in the temperature of the substance will get heated and it will get evaporated. So the mass of the substance will also change. That is recorded, and this is used to analyze the property of a material. That is the thermogravimetric method. That is, you are taking a substance and you are of a particular mass, and you are heating it, so that you are changing its temperature, and this change in the temperature of the substance of given mass is in a controlled temperature program, is subjected with a controlled temperature program. That is, you are changing the temperature of the substance by supplying a heat is controlled. The temperature of the substance is raised in a controlled rate. For example, 200 degrees centigrade per minute, like that. The temperature of the substance is increased in that rate, and at the same time, with the help of a detector, you will also, with the help of a microbalance, you also will find out how in 200 degrees centigrade temperature increase, what is the change in the mass of the substance. Why the mass of the substance change? Because the substance, due to supply of heat energy, it get heated and it will start melt and evaporate. So what is the change in the mass of the substance due to the change in the temperature of the substance at a controlled rate of increase in temperature? With that experiment, you draw a graph, and with that you are interpreting the characterization, the physical property of a material. That is the basic thing of thermogravimetric technique. It is an internationally accepted definition for thermogravimetry is as follow. It is a technique whereby weight of a substance in an environment is heated or cooled at a controlled rate, is recorded as a function of time as well as temperature. So time is also another parameter we are noting while doing this process. Now, thermogravimetric analysis, TGA, its principle. In thermogravimetric analysis, the sample is heated in a given environment. That is, the environment where the sample may be heated is in the air, or in a nitrogen, or in the carbon dioxide environment, or helium environment, or argon environment. That is neutral inert gas environment, or in a open air, or in nitrogen or carbon environment. You are taking the sample and you are heating it at a controlled rate. The change in the weight of the substance is recorded as a function of temperature or time. The temperature is increased at a constant rate for a known initial weight of the substance, and the change in the weight are recorded as a function of a temperature at a different time interval. This plot of weight against temperature is called thermogravimetric curve or thermogram. So you are taking a sample and you are heating it in any environment above mentioned, either air or nitrogen environment, or carbon dioxide environment, or any inert gas environment, and the heat is supplied to the sample at a controlled rate. Then the change in the weight of the substance is recorded as a function of temperature or time. The temperature is increased at a constant rate for a known initial weight of the substance, and the change in the weights are recorded as a function of temperature at different time interval. This plot of weight change against a temperature is called thermogravimetric curve or thermogram. Now, next, what are the types of thermogravimetry? Isothermal or static thermogravimetry, quasi-static thermogravimetry, dynamic thermogravimetry. These are all different types of thermogravimetric technique. Isothermal state thermogravimetric or static thermogravimetry. In this technique, the sample weight is recorded as a function of time at constant temperature. See, weight is recorded as a function of time, and the temperature is maintained at a constant thing. Temperature remains constant. How the weight of the sample is changing with time. That is isothermal or static thermogravimetry. Quasi-static thermogravimetry, in this technique, the sample is heated to constant weight at each of the series of increasing temperature. That is, you are taking a sample of a constant weight. You are taking many sample, 50 gram, constant weight. But the experiment is repeated at each series of increasing temperature. Now, dynamic thermogravimetry, in this technique, a sample is heated in an environment whose temperature is changing in predetermining generally at linear rate. That is, you are changing the environment in the carbon dioxide environment, nitrogen environment, helium, inert gas environment, like that. Changing the environment and analyzing the sample is dynamic thermogravimetric technique. So there are different thermogravimetric technique, but all thermogravimetric technique, the principle is the mass of the substance is the weight of the substance is noted with a change in its temperature at a controlled rate, which is a function of time also. That is the basic principle. Now, description. It is a technique which is studied under thermal analysis, and it is employed for detection of such type of materials which undergo mass change when subjected to thermal heat. See, if a substance is not reacting to temperature, such substance you cannot identify with this technique. Only certain which substance is sensitive to temperature, loss its weight, mass, or gain its mass due to variation in temperature, like which is the substance which undergoes decomposition, oxidation, reduction, etc. These substances only can be analyzed using this technique. For this reason, it is very significant to optimize those conditions, factors on which the change of mass of a sample depend throughout the operation of the experiment. It should be a sample whose mass should change with the temperature throughout the experiment. Such type of sample only you can analyze using thermal analysis method. Then how to record the result? See, in the thermal analysis method, when you change the mass, change the temperature at a controlled rate to a substance, and when you are recording its change in the mass in a particular time interval, then how this is recorded means mass along the y-axis. What is the change in the mass at different temperature along the y-axis? And you will get a graph like this in this as shown in this diagram. You will get a graph like this: mass along the y-axis and the temperature along the x-axis. When you draw a graph, this is the characteristic of a single stage mass loss curve. See, in this curve, in the A, which is a flat region, and B, which is a flat region in this curve, where the mass is not changing, but from T1 to Ti to Tf, that is the initial from the temperature to T finish temperature, there is a slanting slope. This is the region where the mass of the substance is decreasing. So the instrument used for thermogravimetry is a programmed precision balance. There will be a balance, micro balance, programmed micro balance to measure the mass of the substance for rise in temperature known as thermobalance. So results are displayed by the plot of mass change versus temperature or time, and are known as thermogravimetric curves or TG curves. The TG curves are normally plotted with the mass change in percentage on the y-axis and the temperature or time on the x-axis. A typical TG curve has been shown in the figure. Now, there are two temperatures in this reaction. See, again, once you see, you see the graph. There are two temperatures: initial temperature and finished temperature, T1 and TF. Two temperatures are there in the curve. So there are two temperatures in the reaction. Ti, procedural decomposition temperature. That is, it represents the lowest temperature at which the onset of a mass change is seen. See, this is the beginning. This is the temperature where Ti is the temperature at which the mass change, that is, the substance will start evaporating, so that the mass is going to decreasing. That mass change is going to start at this Ti. And Tf is the temperature where the mass change will completely come to an end. So, see here, there are two temperatures in the reaction: T1, procedural decomposition temperature; Tf, final temperature. What is procedural decomposition temperature means? It represents the lowest temperature at which the onset of mass change is going to begin. And Tf is represent the lowest temperature at which the process has been completed respectively. The reaction temperature and interval Tf minus Ti depend upon the experimental condition. Therefore, they do not have any fixed value. It depends upon the experimental condition only. So it is not fixed. So now, what is the information you are getting from the TG curve? First, the plateau, the first region, that plateau. From this, what do you understand? It is the part of the TG curve where the mass is essentially constant or there is no change in the mass. Even when, along the first flat curve, that AB, the mass of the substance does not change, even you change the temperature. Because, well, see, even you are changing the temperature up to AB in the first flat above in the curve, TG curve, there is no change in the mass. Then procedural, next the T1, this procedural decomposition temperature, initial temperature Ti will start. The temperature which is in Celsius or Kelvin, at which the cumulative mass change reaches a magnitude that the thermobalance can detect. So from Ti only, the change in the mass of the substance due to supply of heat, due to increase in the temperature, can be measured from the point Ti only. So that is the procedural decomposition temperature or the initial temperature Ti. Then final temperature Tf. The final temperature Tf is that temperature in Celsius or Kelvin at which the cumulative mass change reaches a maximum. That's all. After that, there is no change in the mass. So that is the cumulative mass change reaches a maximum. Then reaction interval. This then below that, the reaction, what is the another information from this from the curve you can find out is the difference between Ti and Tf. The reaction interval is the temperature difference between Ti and Tf. All these three informations you can get from the TG curve, so that you can analyze the sample, analyze the sample and know its physical property. See, it can be concluded that thermogravimetry is concerned with the change in the weight of a material as its temperature changes. First, this determines the temperature at which the material loses weight. This loss indicates decomposition or evaporation of the sample. Second, the temperature at which no weight loss takes place is revealed, which indicates stability of the material. These temperature ranges are physical properties of chemical compounds and can be used for their identification. So from this temperature range, you can identify that, okay, this material within this range, its physical property won't change. So you can use like that. You can analyze the thermal analysis of a sample can be done by analyzing this TG curve, thermogram. Now, the factors which may affect the TG curves. See, this TG curve, the analysis, there is some factors which involved in it. Because of that, some error may be in the analysis. So you can know what are the factors influence, and you can minimize it, and you can analyze the thermal property of the sample exactly. Now, what are the factors which affect the TG curves are instrumental factors, that is furnace heating rate and furnace at what atmosphere it is there, and also the sample characteristics, weight of the sample, what is the sample's particle size, atomic cluster size. These are all also affect the TG curve. So that if these factors affect, then there will be error in the thermal analysis of the sample. So you have to control these factors so that you can get an exact thermal analysis of that sample, so that which temperature range this material can be safe to use, so that its physical and chemical property is not changing, so that this material can be operated in this temperature range for any engineering application you can identify. Now, furnace heating rate. In the instrumental factors, what are the factors involving? It is furnace heating rate and furnace atmosphere. So furnace heating rate, the temperature at which the sample is heated, the decomposed, depends upon the heating rate. When the heating rate is high, the decomposition of the temperature is also, the evaporation of that material is also high. A heating rate of 3.5 degrees C per minute is usually recommended for reliable and reproducible TGA. So when you are doing a thermogravimetric analysis of a sample, which is recommended me and reliable temperature is the rate of increase in heating the sample. That rate of increase of the temperature is 3.5 degrees centigrade per minute. In this rate, when you heat the sample, then this furnace heating rate will never influence the thermal analysis of the sample. So next, furnace atmosphere. The atmosphere inside the furnace surrounding the sample has profound effect on the decomposition temperature of the sample. So I am already they had told that what are the environment the sample can be analyzed. It is in nitrogen environment, carbon dioxide environment, inert gas environment, like that. So which is recommended and reliable is a pure nitrogen gas from a cylinder passed through the furnace, which provides an inert atmosphere. In that atmosphere, if you analyze the sample, then it won't affect the TG curve characteristic of the sample. So that you will get an accurate TG curve. So that you can accurately analyze the thermal property of that sample. Now, next, apart from instrumental characteristic, sample characteristic also involve the TG curve. So weight of the sample, a small weight of the sample is recommended. You should not take a very huge kilograms of grams of sample. The sample, a very small weight of the sample is recommended. Using small weight eliminates the existence of temperature gradient throughout the sample. If the sample is big, the change in temperature with the distance will be more. So there should not be temperature gradient. So you must take the sample of very small mass so that the temperature gradient throughout the sample is negligible. Now, particle size of the sample. The particle size of the sample should be small and uniform. The use of very large particle or crystal may result in apparent very rapid weight loss during heating. So the particle size of the sample also should be very fine. So you have to prepare a sample like that, so that it won't have influence the characteristics of the TG curve to analyze a sample. Now, what is the instrumentation? With what instrumentation you are doing this analysis? What are the components of instrumentation in the thermogravimetric analysis? You need a recording balance, a microbalance, and a sample holder, a furnace to heat the sample, and furnace temperature programmer controller, because the heat supplied to the sample should be in a controlled rate, and all these things should be recorded in having a mass along the y-axis and the temperature along the x-axis. So all these are the components of the instrumentation of a TGA. Recording balance, sample holder, furnace temperature program controller, and recorder. The TG curves are recorded using a thermobalance. It consists of an electronic microbalance, a furnace, a temperature programmer, and a recorder. Instruments connected to thermobalance to record the output curves. So all together that instrument is only called as thermobalance. Now, what we are going to see, how is this thermobalance? Block diagram of a thermobalance. So at the thermogravimetric analysis, all these things are there. You are having a thermobalance, then sample holder, and a furnace to heat, and a furnace temperature programmer or controller, and a recorder. So first we are going to see the microbalance. It is the most important component of thermobalance. A microbalance is used to record the change in the mass of the sample. So it should accurately and reproducibly record the change in the mass of a sample in wide range of atmospheric conditions and temperatures. It should provide electronic signals to record the change in the mass using a recorder. So thermobalance, when the mass of the substance changes due to change in the temperature, it send an electronic signal that will record the to a recorder, so that it will record what mass is changed, what amount of mass is changed to change in temperature. The electronic signals should provide rapid response to change in mass. It should be stable at high ranges mechanically and electrically. Modern microbalances have ability to be not affected by vibrations. Its operation should be user friendly. So next, sample holder or crucible. The sample to be studied is placed in a sample holder or crucible. It is attached to weighing arm of a microbalance. So there are different varieties of crucibles used. Some differ in shape and size, while some differ in materials used. They are made from platinum. In this only the sample is placed. So platinum, aluminium, quartz or alumina and some other materials like graphite, stainless steel, glass, etc. are used as a crucibles where the sample is filled. Now the crucible should have temperature at least 100 Kelvin greater than the temperature range of an experiment and must transfer heat uniformly to the sample. Therefore, the shape, thermal conductivity and thermal mass of crucibles are important, which depend on the weight and nature of the sample and temperature ranges. Okay. Next, furnace to supply heat to the substance. So the furnace should be designed in such a way that it produces a linear heat range throughout the substance, and it should have a hot zone which can hold a sample and crucible, and its temperature corresponds to the temperature of the furnace. There are different combinations of microbalance and furnace available. The furnace heating coil should be wound in such a way that there is no magnetic field interaction between coil and a sample, or there can cause a apparent mass change. Coils used are made up of different materials, because if you want to heat means that will be definitely that will be induction coils. So the different coils used to heat is up to for temperature greater than 1300 Kelvin, nichrome wire. If the temperature of the substance is to be heated more than the greater than 1300, less than 3300 Kelvin means nichrome wire. Greater than 1300 Kelvin means platinum. Like that, different type of induction coils are used in the furnace. The size of the furnace is important. A high mass furnace may have high range of temperature and obtain uniform hot zone, but requires more time to achieve the desired temperature. Comparatively, a low mass furnace can heat quickly, but it's very difficult to control the rise in temperature and maintain hot zone. Okay. Now, next is temperature measurement. So we have seen how the mass is measured with a balance, microbalance, and on the microbalance how the substance is placed with a suitable sample holder we have seen. And next we have seen how the sample is heated with a furnace, and now due to supply of heat there is a change in mass, and due to supply of heat there is also change in the temperature of the substance. That is also to be recorded. So it is done with the help of a thermocouple. Different materials are used for different range of temperatures. That is chromal or alumel. Alloys of platinum thermocouples are used for the temperature of up to 11,000 degrees centigrade. Tungsten or rhenium thermocouples are used for very high temperatures. The position of thermocouple is important. It can be adjusted in following way. Thermocouple is placed near the sample container and has no contact with the sample container. This arrangement is not preferred in low pressure. The sample is kept inside the sample holder but not in contact with it. It responds to small temperature range only. Thermocouple is placed either in contact with the sample or with the sample container. This method is best and commonly used. These are the positions where this temperature sensor is used to measure the change in the temperature of the sample. Then recording. There should be a recorder which will record the change in the mass of the substance to the with respect to change in a temperature and also depend upon the time parameter. So the recording systems are mainly of two types: time-based potentiometric strip chart recorder and XY recorder. In some instruments, light beam, galvanometer, photographic paper recorders, or one recorder with two or more pens are also used. In the XY recorder, we get curves having a plot of weights directly against temperature. However, the percentage of mass change against the temperature or time would be more useful. Now, applications of thermogravimetric analysis. From thermogravimetric analysis, we can determine the purity and thermal stability of both primary and secondary standard about a sample. So, from thermogravimetric analysis of a sample, when you draw a thermogram, that is thermogravimetric curve, TG curve, we can determine the purity of the sample and the thermal stability of the sample in both primary and secondary standard level. Then determination of composition of complex mixture and decomposition of complex. This also can be done. For studying the sublimation behavior of various substances can be done. TGA is used to study the kinetics of reaction rate constant, and it is used in the study of catalyst. The change in the chemical states of the catalyst may be studied by TGA techniques. Zinc chromium chromate, zinc chromate is used as the catalyst in the synthesis of methanol. All these things you can study with the help of a. These are some applications of TGA which we are studying. That's all about the TGA. These are something about thermogravimetric analysis technique, which will be not that much elaborative in your textbook, but this is informative for you to study the thermal analysis of a sample. So I will send you the PowerPoint. You go through, compare with your textbook, and you write a very good, you reproduce it in a correct way in your examination. And this is a 16-mark question. See, Raman spectroscopy is 116-mark question. Thermogravimetric analysis is 116-mark question. And another thing, XRD is one 10-mark question like that. Then next class I am going to see the electron microscopy, electron microscope, transmission electron microscope, scanning electron microscope, everything is there. So in next class we will see the different type of microscopes, scanning and transmission electron microscope. After that the syllabus is over. After that I will discuss you all the problems, and please you work out your tutorials. Tutorial problem itself is a very important thing. That based on that only, the exam point of view only, I have given the tutorial, and I have sent the answer key also. So work out, and after completing the portions we will discuss again. If in which topic you are having a doubt, which topic I have you want me to tell again, you tell me through the WhatsApp, and we will discuss in the after completing the portions in the next class onwards. Then we will work out problem, and if you have any doubt in the already thought topic, you tell me, then I will clarify your doubts, and I will also tell you what are the important questions for you in exam point of view and test point of view. Everything I will tell you. Okay, we can end the class. Please give your attendance in the chat box and leave. This is